So today I wanted to feature a product that's been around for quite some time, but I think is right up there with best in class. I think you could say that the Lisa Eldridge liquid shadows are fantastic. I even like the Pat McGrath ones pretty well. But it's between Lisa and Armani when it comes to liquid shadows. And Armani, there's the phone again, recently had its 25% off sale, and they're going to have another sale for Black Friday. And a lot of retailers that carry Armani, like Nordstrom, Saks, bergdorfgoodman, Macy's, Sephora, they'll have sales too. So I thought it would be a good opportunity today to look at some shades of the liquid shadows. Now, I certainly don't have them all. There's a lot of them. There's been a lot that have been discontinued and new colors will come in. But I do have, let's see, 7. I have 3 mattes, 2 metallics, and 2 of kind of their sparkly toppers. So I thought we would look at those swatches today just to give you kind of an idea of how they look. And then I thought we could do 2 looks with them today. I'm not a huge liquid shadow person, but if I'm going to use a liquid shadow, I really like these. And I really like the Armani mattes because you can use them under other powder shadows or as kind of a one and done and put something on top of it. So I really like them also as kind of like a primer, if you will. So I thought that would be interesting today. So if that sounds good to you, then please consider liking, subscribing, following along, shopping my links, and passing the channel on to others who might enjoy the content. It would greatly help the channel grow. So I love Lisa Eldridge's liquid shadows. I really like, I'm trying to think who else I really enjoy liquid shadow wise. I like the Pat McGrath ones, although they're all metallics. But the Armani ones, there's just something about them. They have enough flexibility and time so you can kind of work with them, but they're not fussy to work with, much like Lisa Eldridge. And so I really like these. And so I picked up a number of them at the sale, and then I had a couple of them from before. So I thought we would look at a few today and then do some looks. So let's start with the mattes, because I think that's really an area where they're quite exceptional. I have 3 colors of various depths. I have, let's see, we have 18M, which is the lightest. And then we have 22M, which is in the middle, and then 30M, which is darker. And there's even darker ones than this. Let me pull up the shade names. One moment. So I pulled up the website, so I'm not speaking on my ass. There are roughly 30 of them, although like I said, some retailers have discontinued colors, so you can get more if you'd like. Armani Eye Tint Liquid Eyeshadow is crease proof, I have noticed. Long wearing, I have noticed. Quick and easy eye looks. The high pigment formula is available in 3 lightweight finishes. The sheer shimmers, which are like these. The vibrant metallics, which are like these. And neutral mattes. And they each deliver up to 16 hours of effortless wear. I don't know about that. But they're beautiful nonetheless. 8 to 10, sure. Mistake-proof, long-wearing eyeshadow, easy to use. Water-based formula allows for long-wearing eyeshadow to glide on smoothly, seamlessly blend, infused with pure color pigments, subtle pearl to boost vibrancy. Multi-purpose applicator allows for a variety of bold eye makeup looks, eyeliners, smoky eye looks. No primers, tools, or skills needed. And I would say that's pretty accurate. So let's look at these shadows. Let's start with, what did I say was the lightest one I had? 18. So 18 is beige. Telling. And I love the little applicator on these. So here's beige. And you may not even see that. This is a great primer color for me because it's fairly close. There is some lighter shades in the series, but I think this is the lightest shade matte in the permanent collection. So that works really well for me. Now the next one I have is a little bit warmer. Let's see. And it is 22, which is cashew or cashew. And it is a little warmer and a little deeper. So let me show you this one. So that's kind of a nice mid-tone. And these dry down like a really elegant matte. And then finally I have number 30, Cedar. And it is cooler. Similar depth consistency as Cashew, but cooler. They also have a dark brown, super dark brown wood, which I don't have, but I may get that at the sale. And then they have a black. So that is the matte formula they have. The bulk of what they have are shimmers and metallics, but let me go over the metallics that they have. I have two. So I have number 44, which is blush, which is this beautiful kind of pinky color. Really elegant. I read somewhere that this was Kate Blanchett's favorite color, so I have to have that one because I love her. Look at that reflectivity. And then I have, let's see, number 56M, which is a daring color, but I thought would go well with this lip, Tom Ford Rodeo. And it is mahogany. A deep, vampy metallic. It's not as shiny as the first one, but it's really beautiful nonetheless. Those two together would look amazing. They also appear to have an orangey kind of coppery one. They have a blue-green one, and then they have a silver and a gold. So really pretty. And then as far as the shimmers are concerned, they have a few, and I only have a couple of them. So I have, let's see, 12, which is, come on, don't fuck up, Shell, which is a beautiful like inner color corner, but it's also a beautiful topper. Really beautiful like suspended particles, and I'll show you a trick with these to make them amp up even more. And then I also have this kind of bluish colored one, which is called Blue Reflection. It's got a little bit more of a blue icy kind of color. This one's a little tricky for me, but I find that if you put it on top of another, it works much better. So put it on top of one of these like cooler tone browns. And then there are others in the series. There's a pinky shimmer, there's a bronzy shimmer, there's one called Chestnut. But they also have like a matte olive green, which is really beautiful. So they really have a big variety, and they retail for $38. And let's see, does it tell me where they're made? No. That's weird. That's very strange. I guess it's on the box. I'm going to assume they're made in Italy, as most Armani Beauty is. But if you know, you can let us know in the comments. But there are the shades that I have to show you today, and I think they're really beautiful. So what I'm going to do is start with the lightest matte, number 18, and I'm just going to place that in my crease. And this really could be a primer for me. A thin coating of this, and you'd be good to go. Let me grab a somewhat dense brush. I'm going to grab a Refer B03. Yeah, this is a beautiful like primer color. Or if you're not going to wear any eyeshadow, you could wear this and it would get rid of like discoloration. I'll pull you in a little closer. Let's see if I screw this up. Nope. It's a fucking miracle. Okay. See how it just kind of cancels out darkness? So that would be really pretty for that purpose, but it's kind of my perfect kind of skin tone primer color. So on this side, let's go in and play with the really autumnal shades. So I'm going to go in next with number 22, which was that medium toned brown here. And I'm going to place this on the outer corner. And what I like about these applicators is you can apply them really quite a bit across the shadow, or you can flip it over and use it more as like a liner. And they don't dry down super fast, but when they dry down, they dry down. But I do like one thing about liquid shadows is you sometimes can't get detailed looks. That's really not their purpose, but you can get more detailed with this applicator. So you could see right there by itself, that's a pretty nice like neutral one and done look. But I want to show you even with a slightly deeper color. Like I said, I don't have the deepest one, but I do have this color here, which is this cool, neutral cool brown. And this time I'm going to use the pointy side and just place it along the lash line. Maybe make a little wing out of it and bring it down a little bit. See, that by itself, that's actually a pretty good wing from a liquid eyeshadow. But I'm gonna smudge that out a little bit. And you'll see that it kind of, if I don't go with a lot of pressure, it kind of holds that wing shape. So this would be a beautiful way to do an all matte look with just 2 or 3 of the colors. It looks really beautiful. Now, obviously, we're not going to do that because I want to show you these at their va-va-va-boom. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to go in with this beautiful rose gold, which is a metallic, and I'm going to place this over the bulk of the lid. And these really are beautiful. Their metallic formula is really beautiful. Super easy to use. And like I said, I find that the metallics you can use by yourself. I think for the shimmery ones, they work best if used with the mattes. And what I like to do is put a layer on like that, diffuse it, and then go back in more detailed in the area that I really want the pigment to, be concentrated. And one thing you can do with that, if you want it to be really concentrated, is just use your finger to blend that one in. Because the brush obviously is going to remove some product. So that's the rose gold. I think it's really pretty. And what I'll show you to finish is the shimmer shell shade. And this one's really pretty. I'll show you a trick with it though. What I am going to let this do for just a second is dry on the lid. So I'll go ahead and do my inner corner. And that's so easy to do with these little detailed. And then you can take a brush or your finger and just kind of work that in. I'm going to pull it under a little bit. They're really foolproof. You could put 2 of these in your bag for a weekend and get a variety of looks out of it. Is this dry yet? Yeah, it seems to be. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of show you what I like to do with these when we're talking about on the lid proper. And I like to just tap them on like this and then use my finger and kind of blend them in. It gives that really scattered effect. And one trick that I've learned, I think I learned it from Critical Beauty, if you don't follow her, you should, is once they dry, gently go in with a finger or a brush and just kind of rough it up just slightly. I mean, just barely. And it kind of unlocks some of the sparkle to come out and give that really scattered look. So that's a really beautiful, easy peasy eye look. I'll put a liner with it and lashes, but I mean, that's really beautiful. On this look over here, let's play in with this burgundy color. I don't think we can use this purpley color today, but you can imagine for spring, summer, that'd be really pretty. So I think what we'll do on this eye over here is let me go into that coolest, darkest brown that I have. The wood, the very dark one would be perfect for this, but that's okay. We'll use what we have. Can always use a liner. The thing about Armani Beauty is it's not always the most exciting, but they're oftentimes, especially with their glow, but I've heard the power fabric. I'm not a matte person, but I've heard people who love the power fabric, but I can definitely speak to the glow. It just doesn't disappoint. It always turns out pretty nicely, and they have a really elegant formulas. Their foundation is a bestseller still for a reason, and they're just consistent. And these are really lovely. They have like a mousse-like kind of texture. That's a funny word, mousse. Deep lane. You can tell it's been a long week. Okay, so I've got that on. Let me grab a clean brush just to kind of buff out that edge just a little bit. This is actually a flat brush, but it'll do the trick. I'm gonna grab a flat brush because I'll show you in a second. Okay. So now let's grab number 56S, which is this kind of metallic-y burgundy color. It's called mahogany. And I'm going to place this on the lid. And now I'll grab that flat brush to kind of work it in. And look how they diffuse. They diffuse so nicely in the crease. And then obviously you can go back if you want to concentrate color. But they really just work so beautifully. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of that burgundy because we'll vamp it up here. Actually with this one, like a darker or nude would be better lipstick. But this Tom Ford Rodeo is so beautiful. And for the price of these lipsticks, wear them as much as you can. Okay, I think that's really pretty. Now for the inner corner, we could do if you wanted to keep it really simple, you could do the lightest matte. We could do that pinky color that I did on the lid here, or we can go in with this white. I think what I'll do is go in with this white sparkly number here. I think it's called Shell. This is the one that's kind of like the suspended glitters. You do want to make sure when you're working with these that you're letting one shade dry, and they do dry relatively quick, before you start working with the others. Otherwise you're going to be blending shades in the bottle, so you obviously don't want to do that. This isn't the time to make custom shades. Let me grab, where's that fun new Refer brush? Is it here? There's a fun new one I like a lot. I don't know. I'm just gonna grab this O2. It'll work. It's thundering. I didn't know it was supposed to thunder today. You can imagine the gold sparkly one would be beautiful on top of this red for like a holiday party. But that works. Now I'm going to show you on this one over here what I was saying. Once it dries a little bit, just go in and kind of lightly brush it, and it kind of unlocks it a little bit and gives it more of that twinkle effect. I'm going to grab liner, and then we'll put on liner and lashes and come back. Okay. So I put on Wood liner from Prada, which is a beautiful brown liner, but Pat McGrath, Lisa Eldridge, Victoria Beckham, a lot of companies make beautiful brown liners. And then I did the Tower 28 mascara in brown. I pulled out, and I can pull you out now too. Let's see if I screw this up. I did. I was doing so well. Okay. I pulled out 3 of my Lisa Eldridge liquid shadows, the matte ones, to compare them to the 3 mattes from Armani. I think they're both excellent formulas. They're both long lasting. I really like both of them. It's really just to show you a color comparison. So this first one is 18M, like we looked at before, from Armani, which is the one that's almost my skin color. And then I have Phoebe from Lisa Eldridge, which looks like it might be a little bit warmer, but I think sheared out they would probably look somewhat similar. Then from Armani we have 22M, which I believe was cashew. That's a really beautiful color, really unique. And then I have Gaia from Lisa Eldridge. I think this one's going to be much, much warmer and deeper, and it is. But it's what I have, so I can show you to compare. And then I have, 30, I'm breaking up, I'm going through puberty. I have 30M from Armani, which is that gorgeous cool tone neutral. And I have the cool tone neutral from Lisa Eldridge, which is Ion. This one's always sold out, I think because it is a cool tone neutral. If anything, that cool tone neutral might be closer to that color. But it's such a unique, the Lisa Eldridge one is such a unique color. It's almost got a little bit of purple in it. But maybe that gives you a little bit of a difference. I would say they both dry pretty quick. I think the Armani maybe dries a little bit faster. They're both, so you have a little bit more flexibility with the Lisa Eldridge. The applicator with the Lisa Eldridge is more of a traditional paddle, so you can use it like a paddle, but you can turn it on its side, but it doesn't have that really detailed point. So that's something that's nice with Armani. The color selection, I mean, Armani has so many more. Now Lisa Eldridge has a ton of metallics, but I think she just has the 6 neutrals, and Armani may just have the 6 neutrals, so they may be on par there. They're both really beautiful. They don't move. You have a little bit of playtime with them. I think they're just really beautiful, and so I think if you like the Lisa Eldridge formula, you would like the Armani and vice versa. You know, so at the holidays, if you're looking and one's on sale somewhere, if you like one, pick up one or the other. I think you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I think you would really like it. And when these dry down, it's really interesting because, well, I'll try to show, I think I can show you with the Armani because they do dry faster. There's just no moving them. There's very little movement. Now the Lisas are still a little wet, so I still have a little bit of time to play with these. And that's something that you might like if you want something that takes, if you want to have a little bit more time and movement with them. But the Armani ones do dry down a little bit faster, and they're maybe a tad more powdery, but they're both beautiful, long-lasting shadows that I think you would really like. I look really bizarre right now because I have this one really light eye and this one really dark eye. But you know what I can do, just to show you, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab my Half Magic glitter puck, and this is in the color Glimmer Pop, which is the gold. And I just want to show you how something like this would look on top of something like this, which is, a metallic or the neutral ones, and use them as kind of a primer or a base. These are spectacular if you've never tried them. See how it gave that beautiful like red base, that burgundy base, but then I put those gold sparkles over the top. So that's an interesting idea. And you could use your favorite Pat McGrath shadow. You could use a Patrick Ta, one of those duos. You could use a Fenty Diamond Balm. I think those are really excellent. You don't just have to use these glitter pucks, but I really do like these. And they're available at Ulta, and they often have sales. And there's 3 colors of these. They're just really unique. And you can see how quickly that changed that look. But that base, that burgundy, is still there. And if I had put lighter, it would be there even more. So I really like these products. And like I said, Armani Beauty in general, maybe not always the most exciting, but I do really like their products. There's a reason why they're bestsellers still. And so I think if you like the Lisa Eldridge, you would like these. But I think if you're looking for something quick and easy, or you're looking for something to provide a base for your favorite one and dones, you're not going to go wrong with these. And so check out department stores, check out the Armani website for who's doing kind of the best deal for the holidays. There's a few more I would like to get. I'd like to get the turquoise one. I'd like to get the wood colored one, the very dark brown. They have a cold bronze, which is a very cool tone bronzy gray color, which is really unique. It reminds me a little bit of one of the Lisa Eldridge metallics for the holiday season this year. So they're a really beautiful formula, and so I think you would enjoy them. If you like this kind of content and you'd like to see more, then let me know by leaving a comment, liking, subscribing, and shop my links. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help out my channel immensely. And share our information along so that others can potentially find the channel. And so I really appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you've enjoyed this kind of deep dive into the 7 shades I have, with a few comparisons to the Armani liquid eyeshadows. So thank you so much. Bye, everyone.